I get overwhelmed so easily. My anxiety creeps inside of me, makes it hard to breathe. What's come over me feels like I'm somebody else.
Hello guys. This is the Orange Hokage here, and today we are going to start a brand new series called, What If Naruto Was Neglected by His Family Part 3. So now let's get right into the story. 4 years later it was finally the day that the students at the academy would graduate and finally become ninjas. Throughout the years, Naruto would hardly be a part of the class and would either train with Kuruma in his mindscape, nobody knows that he knows about the Kyuubi, decipher scrolls or just sleep. Iruka didn't mind because he would had perfect scores on all his tests. He was later told by Miley, secretly although Naruto was informed, about the relationship about his family, and to say he was shocked was an understatement, so he agreed to only to report about his grades, only when asked. To keep Naruko shut up and the other class members, a genjutsu was placed over them, making it look like he was paying attention. The treatment of the villagers didn't any better, nor did the treatment he received from his classmates, but he didn't care. Today was the day that he would become a ninja, aka be an adult, aka he could move out and live with Miley. He dreamed of this day for so long. He went into the academy, and since it was still early, no one was there. He took a seat and waited for the others to get here. Since they were going to take tests in ninja skills, the parents of the students were all coming to watch their children, meaning the Hokage and his wife as well. The past 4 years have been difficult for them when they tried to bond with Naruto, but because he didn't know a single thing about him and he never helped, so they were back to square one. Soon everyone came in and Iruka was going to start the test. Hinata came in and sat beside him. She also became more confident over the years and, like Naruto, is hiding her strength because Miley doesn't want people to know that she can train people, since she refused so many requests. Speaking of Miley, she became the village's beauty, with everyone asking for her hand in an engagement, but would be politely declined. She would literally beat the crap out of the. Some even ended up in the IQ. Naruto once asked why she didn't get a boyfriend or even if she wanted one, which she declined, saying it would take too much of her time and didn't really find anyone worth it. Once the parents came in which the Hokage and his wife smiled and waved at Naruto, who in return just ignored them. This didn't go unnoticed by the other parents and clan leaders. Iruka started the written part of the test. Before he could say begin, all shinobi parents and Anbu there that were guarding the Hokage, got into a fighting stance. Naruto first ignored it but turned around with a smile when he recognized the chakra and voice. "Would you people be so kind and put away your toys? They could seriously hurt someone," said Ra's al Ghul. Everyone was terrified and at the same time wondering what exactly he was doing here. "What do you want, Ra's? You don't have permission to come in the village," the Hokage said. "Oh, but on the contrary, I do, Hokage." Now this got people curious, some even glaring at the Hokage, thinking that he gave him permission. But before anything could be said, a voice was heard. "To-san, don't you think you could have at least come with Miles? She said she was going to come too. Now you made a big scene." People turned their heads to see Naruto talking to Ra's and were shocked, but not as shocked as when they heard him addressing him as To-san. This broke the Hokage's heart into a million pieces but also got him wondering how he knew him. "Your sister was asleep and I didn't want to wake her. You know very well as I do what happens to a person when they try to wake her up. But don't worry, if she said she'll be here, then she will. I seriously don't know why you're still here in this bloody hell or even come to the academy in the first place," he said as he looked at everyone there with a disgusted face. "To be honest, I would have left, but I have really important people here, and besides, before I make the villagers feel pain and torture, if my very existence to them fulfills that for the meantime, then I'll take it. Anyways, we were gonna start the written test until you showed up with your grand entrance. There are seats over there for parents that you could sit at," he said. They were having a normal conversation, as if nothing was wrong, which made the onlookers' sweat drop. Before Ra's went to his seat, he looked at Iruka and walked up to him and did what no one expected. "I apologize for taking up your time. You may begin your tests for the students as I won't interfere again. As you can see, I came to see my son take his tests." And then walked away. Everyone was beyond shocked. His son. But before they could say a thing, Iruka told them to start. After 5 minutes into the test, Naruto was done, so he flipped over his paper and put his head down. Many of the parents saw this and thought he was being lazy, but Iruka and Roz knew better and smiled. After the tests were collected, they moved outside, for their ninja skills. That's when our lovable brunette finally arrived. She looked at her father and walked towards him with a glare. Naruto started to giggle along with his friends, which got people looking at them. "Shikamaru, what's so funny?" his dad asked, as everyone anticipated his reply. "Dad, it's too troublesome to explain, just watch," he said and pointed to a scene where Miley held her father by the collar and starting ranting in the league's language. No one understood except Naruto, which got them looking at him as if he was crazy when he burst into laughter. Hinata, Choji and Shikamaru knew what was going on and also started to laugh, but not as hard as Naruto. When she finished her ranting, which was about her father keeping her and not walking her up, she shooed him away out of the academy, much to the relief of many there. To others though, especially the shinobi, were amused that Roz could go solo as being belittled by his daughter and look so helpless. When he was gone, she saw Naruto and ran up to him, giving him a hug and a kiss on the forehead. She then gurwaited the other three and went to go sit with Makoto, after being scowled by Iruka for making a scene. She was friends with Makoto since she went on missions with Itachi and Shisui Uchiha, but unlike any of the other girls in the village, she didn't have a crush on either one of them. She actually considered them her friends, mostly Shisui though. She saw Itachi as a jerk sometimes, and would usually tell his fangirls where he was just to get back at him. As she sat down, Hanabi came and tackled her with a hug, in which she returned. "Nee Miley, can I listen to some music on your player, please?" she asked. Man, she was adorable, of course. "Here." Then she proceeded to take off the player strapped on her left arm and gave her the headphones around her neck. She hoisted her up on her lap, just as the kunai and shuriken throwing had begun. She felt a dark killer intent that was aiming towards her, and as she looked around, she saw it coming from Naruko, Naruto's same blood but not related sister. She smirked at her and just ignored it. Naruko didn't like the fact that her brother was acknowledging someone else as his sister, let alone a well-known murderer as a father. She saw her parents' hurtful and guilty looks and couldn't take it anymore. They tried for the past 4 years and it felt like they were further apart than before. All she was asking for was a chance, but she didn't know why he didn't give it to them. It was finally Naruto's turn, and you could hear the laughter and hurtful words that were being said by the other children. A wave of killer intent from Miley shut them up as well as gave shivers to the adults, except Makoto, Hanabi, making her father wonder how she could stay calm and continued listening to music, and her mother. They were already used to it. Naruto smiled when he heard his sister cheer for him aloud. She could be childish at times, but that was one of the reasons he loved her. He took his stance and threw the kunai and shuriken, hitting a perfecting 10 as he left, leaving a silently shocked crowd of parents and students. This again got him some cheers from his friends, Miley and Hanabi, except Shikamaru, saying it was too troublesome but smiled nonetheless. The Hokage and his family were more or less shocked but happy he passed and proud. Next it was the fights between the students. Naruto looked at Miley, who shook her head. This meant not to kill any of the students and not to show too much power. He pouted but agreed. "Miley, who do you think is going to win the matchups?" "A lot of the students are clan heirs," Makoto asked. "Makoto-san, to be honest, the only people I believe should actually be clan heirs are the Akimiki heir, the Nara heir and especially the Hyuga heir. Every other one of them have an issue that if they don't resolve, would lead to their downfall," she said as she analyzed the current fight between two unknown fights. Now this got some of the Sekan leaders angry, except the said clans, but left the Hyuga leader confused about his daughter. "Are you trying to say that my Kiba isn't good enough to be a leader?" yelled Kiba's mother. "No, woman. Don't put words in my mouth. I said if they don't change then they won't be fit. Kiba, you say? His downfall is that he jumps right at the problem without knowing what the situation is. If he becomes a leader with that brain, then you could kiss the existence of your clan bye-bye." What about my daughter, Naruko? She is the daughter of the Hokage. Let me cut you off right there, Kushina-san. First off, that title was taken from your eldest to your youngest, which doesn't make sense at all. This had different effects of shock, sadness and guilt by the people listening. Then she continued, secondly, your daughter boasts about her parents' status and using it for her success. Using accomplishments of others doesn't make you a good leader. What is going to do when she's in Kumo and tries to get free by saying my father is the Hokage imitates voice? It'll get her killed, that's for sure. Then what about my daughter? Says a woman. And who, if I may ask politely, the hell is your daughter? Sakura. Sakura Haruno. Who? She looked confused, trying to remember who that was. Mylene, it's the screaming banshee, said Hanabi, who momentarily took off the headphones and then put them back on. Ooh. The screaming banshee. She's your daughter. Man, I would totally understand if your earbuds bursts. She is so freaking loud and it's so annoying. Especially since the only reason she's at the academy is because of Makoto's son. The only thing I think you should do is pray. Pray that she comes back to you alive, she said as she put a reassuring hand on the paled woman's shoulder and then let go. And why do you think that Hinata is fit to be the Hyuga heir? Hayashi asked as he wondered what this girl saw in his weak daughter. Lord Hyuga, I don't think she's fit to be heir. I think that she's perfect. She's kind and compassionate and would only make judgments when she experiences the situation or takes to the person personally, not to mention that she is powerful. I bet that she could beat any Hyuga that isn't you on a one-on-one match, she said confidently. He looked at her with suspicion. His daughter. Were they speaking of the same? Hinata couldn't even beat Hanabi. She saw this and smiled. Hayashi-san, there is more than meets the eye with Hinata. That's all I can tell you. Then turned her attention to the current match. The current matchup was between Sasuke and another student. Then she remembered that she didn't see Itachi for a while, so decided to ask. Say, Makoto-san, I didn't see Itachi for the past couple of months. Where is he? Did he go on a long mission? Now that I think about it, I haven't seen Shisui either. Do you know where they are? She looked and saw a sad expression with a mixture of surprise. Don't you know? Shisui was killed and she was cut off. What? Calm down. They say the one who did it was my son, Itachi. She looked away with shame, but looked back when she heard laughter. Ha ha ha. What has this village become? First abusing a little boy and now lying that a person killed his friend? Ha ha ha. Everyone just stares at her. Don't laugh, you brat. It took a lot for my wife to tell you that and you're laughing? How dare you? Yelled an enraged Fukagu. She looked at Makoto and saw her about to be in tears. No, I didn't mean it like that. Makoto-san. Do you really believe that Itachi actually killed his best friend? I remember he and Shisui were best friends and nothing could come between them. Damn, this village is something else, ain't it? What are you telling me, that you believe he didn't kill him? I thought so too, but he left the village before I could ask. She said with a bit of hope. Makoto-san, I'd bet my life on it. Itachi and Shisui were my best friends. When I first came to the village when I was 4, they were the first friends I made, and hell, they were friends before that. She gave Makoto a new sense of hope. Hope to look for evidence that her son was innocent. Makoto-san, if you need my help, please ask. You should be careful. In this village, there are dark forces that cover up such things, and I doubt that they wouldn't try to get you K8 led if you find the truth, Danzo, she thought. Thank you. Sniff, thank you so much, Makoto sobbed. Miley held her and also cried for her dead friend. She finally snapped out of it when she heard the finally fight. It was Naruto versus Naruko. Naruko was going to use this opportunity to reach her brother. They both went into their fighting stance and were told to begin. Nisan, let's make a bet. If I win, then you have to give us a chance, okay? She knew her brother didn't get any training, even her parents smirked at their daughter's brilliant plan, so she was bound to win, but didn't expect his reply. And if I win? If I win, then you and your family will never bother me again, alright? She knew she wasn't going to lose, but the confidence in his voice made her shaky. She nodded and then attacked. She went in for a punch, but he easily held it and punched her in the stomach, causing her to fly into the academy wall, unconscious. Winner Naruto Namikaze said to satisfy Iruka. He knew Naruto was going to win, but not so easily. He wished that he at least let the girl show some of her skills. His parents along with everyone else there, except a few, were shocked. Their hero was defeated by the demon? Who will protect us now? Were what some thought. Naruto just left the field as if nothing happened and was greeted by smiles from his friend. He sat beside Sasuke, who also knew about Naruto's true strength, well not all of it, just that he's hiding it, and the two had a level of respect towards one another. Then the Hokage gave his speech and handed each Jonin their headbands. When he reached Naruto, the boy didn't take another glance as he took his headband and walked over to where Miley was. Before they left, the teams were assigned, but all he heard, much to his disappointment, was, Team 7 Sasuke Uchiha, Naruko Namikaze, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Namikaze. Jounin Kakashi and Kushina. Damn that Hokage. He's trying to get you guys together by putting you on the same team. He sure is using his power for the wrong thing. I know. Where was that power when I was getting harassed the villagers? TSK, the nerve. He just glared at the Hokage and his family and walked up to them and said to Naruko, "Don't forget our deal," then walked away. She began to cry because it was now her fault that they weren't going to be a family anymore. Her mother began to calm her and they walked back to the classroom. There the teams were being picked one by one. Finally Kakashi arrived. "My first impression of all of you. I hate you. Meet me on the roof in 5. And then shine to the roof." Naruto did the same as he told Sasuke to grab on, leaving the 3 females in the class. When they arrived, Kakashi was surprised. "How do you know that jutsu?" "It's a C-rank jutsu," he questioned. Naruto just shrugged it off and didn't reply. Soon enough the other 3 came. "Naruto Baka, don't just leave us there." Sakura screamed as she was going to hit him, but he grabbed her arm and tightened his grip. "Try that again, I'll make sure you don't have an arm to swing," he said with dull lifeless eyes and venom as she winced in pain. He let go as she nodded. "Well then let's introduce ourselves and tell our likes, dislikes and hobbies along with what our dreams are. I'll go first just like an anime. Now your turn, Pinky." "My name is Sakura Haruno and my likes are giggles and my dislikes are Naruto Baka and Ino Pig. And my dream is giggles." Everyone just sweat drops. "What a sad girl," he says as he shakes his head. "You're right about that, Q. Now you redhead." "My name is Naruko Namikaze. My likes are my family and this village. My dislike is that my brother hates me and my parents, and it's my dream that I'll bring him back to our family." She and Kushina look at him but sadden when he scoffs and looks away. What's wrong with their family? The others thought. "Say Naruto. How come the villagers call you a demon? I mean, it's not like you did something towards them, right?" Sasuke asks. He's been wondering this from the beginning of the academy, but because Miley was with him, and he was afraid of her, he couldn't ask, thinking now was the best time. Don't ask him such questions. Just know that he isn't a demon, he's my son. Kushina said. "I'll tell you." Which he got worried looks from the Jounins and Naruko, since she already knew. Sakura wanted to know too. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. My likes are my father Raz and my sister Miley. My dislikes are this village and the Hokage's family. My dream is to get back at everyone who has ever wronged me and protect the one person who was there for me in my hour of darkness. And to answer your question, Sasuke, the villagers hate me because I have the 9-tailed fox sealed inside of me. I am a Jinchuriki," he said as he looked at him. "But WHT would they hate you? You're literally hold the demon from getting out. They should be thanking you, not the other way around." He couldn't believe it that the villagers were such idiots. Naruto smiled and said thanks. He never thought that there would be someone like him in the village. Another friend won't be so bad, right? "It's up to you, Kit. Now leave me alone, I want to sleep." Lazy fox, and then cut the connection. After an awkward silence, Kakashi said, "Meet us tomorrow at the training grounds at 6 a.m. for your test." And then shined away. Naruto looked at Sasuke, who was trying to get Sakura off of him, and asked, "Do you wanna hang out?" Sure. Anyone else? He hoped Miley wasn't there. Just Miley and I think Hanabi. Come on, Miley isn't scary. She's actually friends with your brother Itachi, and now that we're friends, she'll like you. He hesitated but then grabbed on, and then they shushed away, leaving a screaming Sakura. So that's it for today, guys. If you like this story and want more, then please subscribe and turn on the bell icon. Until then, take care and goodbye.